life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. But when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, well, I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
Hi everyone, welcome to another Cine-Mahaul podcast, another Friday, and the same culprits have joined me yet again, Taniyaa, Farhad and Sneha. So thank you guys for joining, and today it's a special episode because we are going to talk about Friends, something which has a special place in all our hearts, and there's so much to talk about, and we are doing this special podcast because there is a reunion happening next week. I mean, it has happened, but it's releasing next week, and we couldn't be more excited. Could we be more excited if you talk in a Chandler's way? So welcome everyone. First, I would directly go to Taniyaa because she was not present in the last two podcasts we did. So welcome back, Taniyaa. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, so when I say Friends, what comes to your mind?
Phoebe has to be Phoebe. My favorite character.
Okay. So I've seen this thing with a lot of people that Phoebe is their favorite character, which is actually contrary to the popular opinion, because people would think that girls might like Rachel more, girls might like Monica more, or maybe they relate to Monica more because of the OCD thing. But these days I've seen a little bit more this fandom for Phoebe. I mean, Sneha, do you also relate with Phoebe more than the other two characters?
Yes, definitely. And again, like how Taniyaa said, that first thing that comes to my mind is Phoebe, because like she's just Paul Rudd says in the wedding speech, wonderfully weird.
Yeah.
She is that person.
Farhad, when I say Friends, I mean Taniyaa and Sneha have already answered that they think of Phoebe. What about you? I mean, do you think of a particular character, or do you have something different when Friends come to mind?
I don't think of a particular character. I feel the first thing that comes to my mind is it is healing. The show is healing. So I remember I had watched the show. It was I think 2-3 years back. I watched it for the first time. It was very late.
Okay.
But then I had started watching it because I was very depressed. I was in depression. Okay, due to whatever reason. So before that, I had watched one odd episode here, one odd episode there, and I found what is the hype really about. But when you actually watch it in line from the first episode till the last, there's an underlying thread that is there. So that's why it is important to start from the very first episode, not just watch random episodes, even though it is a sitcom. So my first thing that I felt was it is healing.
Well, I hope that Friends help you heal and come out of that phase. And for me, see, Friends was the first ever TV series or TV show that I watched. I've stumbled upon it for the first time in 2012. My first serious girlfriend had actually introduced me to Friends, and that is the only good thing to have come out of that relationship. Otherwise, maybe a couple of sad heartbreak songs. But I have seen, like, in the last 9 years, I have seen Friends almost like 17 times, start to end, all 10 seasons. So on an average of twice a year, I keep watching it. It's kind of like, once you've seen it, you have these reruns during having a meal, or just as a stress buster. I mean, it's the good thing is it's just a 20-minute episode, so you won't even know where the time went. So for me, that girl was the one who introduced me to it, and I'll be thankful to her for all my life. So Taniyaa, if I ask you, did somebody actually introduce you to Friends, or you always wanted to watch it?
No, nobody introduced me. Actually, it was I had just passed my 10th standard, and after 10th standard, you're in that phase where you want to sleep really late in the night and wake up
Yeah.
very late till your board results have not come.
Yeah.
And I didn't have Netflix and all of that at that time. So between 12 to 1, I had nothing to watch, and Friends used to come on Comedy Central or Star World, I don't know what. And I started watching between 12 to 1, and I randomly started watching from like season 3, episode 4, or something like that. And because it's a show that you don't have to start from the first episode, you can still see what is happening
Yeah.
and you can connect the dots somehow. I started watching it and then it became a routine. And then finally, when I got access to like the first half, I started watching. So I never saw Friends from the first episode to the last episode till today. I've always
Okay.
seen like every
Oh,
episode in a very different manner, but I've finished Friends at least 10 times.
Wow, that's actually a bit different kind of an experience. Like I know such diehard fans of Friends who have actually seen it in reverse also. People do that. They start from the last episode and then they go back, as all those six characters get young. So that's another, piece of trivia that I got to know, and that was crazy. I mean, I used to think of myself ki I am such a huge fan. I have seen it 17 times. I know all the quiz and trivia things and bloopers and everything. And when I got to know that people do that, the reverse thing, I was like, I was ashamed of myself to, call myself a Friends fan. Sneha, who introduced you to Friends, and when was the first time you watched it?
I introduced myself to Friends because I
Okay.
had to. So I think back in 10th or 11th standard, there was some quiz competition called Couch Potato.
Okay.
And the topic for the quiz was sitcoms like Friends, Big Bang Theory, and two, three more sitcoms. So at that point, I was a huge Big Bang Theory fan. So I did not know I wasn't aware of the kind of fandom that Friends had. And my friends are like, no, you have to watch it now. So you have to watch it because there's a quiz coming up. You have to prepare for it. And I started watching, and I think the first time I watched it, I did not watch it that well, or maybe I did not connect to it
So,
that well
how
because
much time was remaining for the quiz? Because Friends is 10 seasons, so even if they
yeah,
asked you
I
to
took
watch.
a month. That's the thing. I took a month, and I don't think that was enough, or probably I did not connect to it that
Okay.
well in my first
But
watch.
you finished
And
Friends in a month, all 10
yeah,
seasons.
I
Wow.
had to. It was a quiz. I had to prepare for other sitcoms also.
So, see,
So
that's like 236 episodes in 30 days. That's almost like 8 episodes per day.
yeah, because I
We'll
was
just
watching
do
back
it
to
like
back.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like you said,
20
20
minutes per
episodes.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
8 episodes per day is like 160 minutes, like 5 hours of Friends daily. But yeah, I mean, I understand that phase when between 10th and 11th, as Tanya also said,
Exactly.
you have a lot of free time here.
Right. And I think after that, when I went to college, I think I rewatched the show again, and that's when I really connected with it. And even though I would like to point out now that I watch it after several watches, I find little things that are problematic.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
we'll
it's
come to that.
okay.
We'll come to that
Yeah.
later on.
But yeah, the
First,
show has a charm of its
yeah,
own.
first we'll talk about only the good things and the good memories of Friends. So coming to now we have talked about how we started and when we started, and Tanya and Sneha have already named their favorite character already. That was the first thing they said. So Farhad, talking about our favorite characters now. Do you have any favorite in the six, or do you also have a
I like
male favorite character like they had female favorite?
I like all of them actually. I mean, it's very hard to select just
Yeah.
one. So if I can select one male and one female, then I think then that would be like a good thing. So female, definitely my favorite is also Phoebe. I just love Phoebe. I mean, she's goofy and
Copycat.
Who does it?
so I mean, she's the most real character that I feel in the show. Others may seem a little far-fetched, may seem little put on, so to say. Not put, yeah, maybe you can say the characteristics were little put on, but Phoebe was the most real character, and I just loved when she found Mike. That was the happiest thing that I could
I
see.
know.
I mean, the best love story you would say in the show was of Mike and Phoebe for me. It's not
Yeah.
Ross and Rachel, it's not Monica or Chandler, it's Mike and Phoebe. It's just that guy is awesome. They're made for each other. You could just feel that chemistry. I'm getting goosebumps while talking right now. And so, favorite male, I think Chandler. I think Chandler because I just find him just far too funny. And even though he has an emotional threat to him, he has that. Um
Sarcasm.
he has this, no, the sarcasm part is there, but he has that emotions also to him, which he keeps somewhere deep inside him. I
Yeah, well,
remember that episode in which he had to propose to Monica, and he almost lost her.
yeah.
Almost lost her, and then when they got together it was like, oh, and so, small things like he had work but he quit, I think, and he came back for Christmas to celebrate with everyone.
Yeah.
Small moments like that, I
I
mean,
think
so
I
I
think the
feel.
most vulnerable that I remember Chandler was when he had to persuade that surrogate mother to actually give them the baby, and because there was some mix up, and she changes her mind, but then that was the weakest and the most vulnerable I saw Chandler. So yeah, I agree. I mean, he used to keep those emotions buried somewhere deep down, and as he used to say that this being funny is his mechanism of getting away with whatever his childhood was like, and getting away with the parents divorce and everything. So yeah, so that is Farhad's favorite male and female characters. Farhad keeping up with this patriarchy thing from the day one of this podcast, not naming one but two characters in both the genders. For me, for me it has to be Chandler and Monica. I mean, I rate Mondler more than Ross and Rachel. I think Ross and Rachel for me was a bit overrated because they for the better part of Friends they were actually not together for more seasons. And with Chandler and Monica, it was a very smooth journey. Like once they got together, there was no looking back. There were a couple of hiccups on the way, but I mean, they stuck together until the end. So yeah, and with females, I don't know why I find Monica more beautiful and appealing than Rachel. A lot of guys actually crush over Rachel, but for me, Monica was always the one whom I found quite attractive. And so yeah, so okay, now
One
talking.
second, 1 second. Sneha and I have not named our favorite man character. Okay,
Yes,
don't
please
be
go ahead.
dominating over here.
No,
We
no,
also want
please,
to say.
please, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Okay,
So
Tanya.
my favorite male character is Ross.
Okay.
I think he reminds me of one of my cousin brothers who is just this helpless guy who doesn't know what to do but is still so charming and cute and intelligent. And I love how geeky and nerdy he is. So it's a mixture of a lot of things. And yeah, for me, it's Ross.
Sneha, Joey.
Uh, I think Chandler and Richard. I think Chandler
Richard.
because
But
Richard.
okay, we were talking. I
Monica.
thought we
Yeah.
are only pick. No, no, I know, yeah. Of course,
Achha,
I know who
if
is it. I
if
thought we are only
the
picking
lead,
from the main six.
Yeah, even
if
I
picking
thought.
from the
So
lead,
they did Monica's boyfriend now.
Yeah.
yeah. But if
Yeah.
you're picking from the lead, then yeah, Chandler because again Chandler had that quality of being vulnerable at certain moments. He could accept his flaws very easily, like and also
Powerful.
he was one of those characters which had a character graph
Yeah.
throughout the series. Like being uh, and that's the thing, like character graph, I say that because he changed a lot after he met Monica,
Yeah.
and there were aspects of his personality that he was willing to develop or let go.
Yeah.
Like initial seasons he was like, I never want to get married, have kids, this that, but eventually he settled. And again, him and Monica, of course, they made a great couple. So yeah, I think Chandler was my
I
favorite
think
lead character.
not just his characteristics evolved a bit, but his weight was also fluctuating a lot in
Yeah,
in the
that was
whole
because of his
Friends.
addiction
Yeah,
issues.
yeah, yeah. So off the set, in his personal life, he was going through depression and addiction. So if you see season 3, like he's, I think, at his thinnest, and I think that's why for some reason I find season 3 the funniest as well, because Chandler in that goatee and that skinny kind of a look, he became a bit more funnier for me. But it's so weird that nobody of us have picked Joey as favorite character in male category. I mean, Joey fans would really put a dislike on this video. I mean, how cannot we love and pick Joey? I mean, see, Joey is kind of a character who anyway would have a special place in everyone's heart. I mean, even if you pick anybody else, Joey's place, for a reason, they actually made a spin-off series called Joey, because Joey was such a loved character. Even though the series didn't really do well, but I mean, Joey in his own right, and only the only unlucky one not to have a partner at the end of the series as well.
I feel Joey is one character who is very loyal.
Yeah,
Loyal in terms of his friendship, I'm saying.
yeah.
So he could so easily have, towards the end, the 10th season, in that we see that he had a thing for Rachel,
Yeah.
and he could so easily have ended up with her. But because of his friendship, he valued friendship more than love, basically.
But I think
So
that was the streak with everybody, isn't it? I mean, that's the theme of the show.
um,
The friendship comes higher than anything else.
it does, but I still feel that his loyalty was, I think, tested the most, especially towards the end. And he
Hmm.
actually had to make. I don't think anyone else had to really make a choice between, each other for love or friendship. That was, I think, the only character that had to make a choice whether Rachel is my best friend's girlfriend or my girlfriend. So that was that. So I
Yeah,
think he's
well,
very
that way
loyal.
I think Chandler got it easy because he had to choose between his best friend's sister and not and his
He
best
was lucky
friend's.
too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Joey could have ended up in Monica also.
Yeah, yeah,
As per
that's
their
that's
Monica.
true. But there was this episode, like the one where it could have been. So there, Phoebe and Ross also were about to hook up, and Rachel and Chandler, and the one where you're talking Monica and Joey,
Yeah,
and Joey being Joey, he goes in for lemonade, and the rest is history. Yeah. But talking about that Joey and Rachel thing, I was a bit put off by that. I mean, I remember even when the series was on, and there was a bit of dislike to this whole angle which they had brought in. I mean, I didn't really like why they wrote about Joey patching up with hooking up with Rachel. I mean, okay, so
How
before we get deeper into it, I'll ask everyone: were they actually on a break? Were they?
I think Ross is
Who
going
do
to
you?
answer that in the reunion.
Yeah, but if I had to ask you to pick one of them, who was actually right? Who would you pick, Ross or Rachel? Sneha?
Rachel.
Okay. Farhad, would you pick Ross here?
I feel Ross because I just feel sad for him, man.
Even
I
I
just have
feel
my
nerves. They
sympathy.
were on a break.
Yeah, but
Feel
then
sad.
even if you're on a break, does that give you a right to sleep with somebody else?
But
Just
you
a day
know that you're
after
going
you
to get
broke up.
back.
Huh?
I mean, you are on a break after all. It's fine.
Yeah, you're on a
Yeah,
break. And he was in love with Rachel since
yeah,
school.
absolutely. So you were
And if
actually
she's giving him like, today
you.
I'm dating you, tomorrow I'm not dating you, today I'm dating you, and then they broke
I
up
think
for a
Rachel
bit,
was
and
more
then he slept with
confused than
someone
Ross.
unknowingly that they're on a break. I guess it's okay.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
I mean, isn't this contradictory? If he loved her so much, and they were just on a break, they didn't officially break up. They were on a break. So while on a break, if you love somebody and you have taken a break for a few days or something like that to work on things, that doesn't give you the right to go and
I don't
sleep with
think they
somebody and
ever
justify
mentioned that
things.
we are on a break.
No.
Did they?
She said
Yeah,
let's take a break. So he says, okay, let's have a frozen yogurt or something, and then he goes away. And just because Mark was
I don't
there,
remember.
he gets back at her by doing that, by going after that dinosaur girl. Not the dinosaur girl, the
It
photocopy
was a
girl.
photocopy girl.
Yeah, Xerox machine. Yeah, that one. So I mean, how do you justify
I
that?
think it's okay. It was such a big
Oh no, I expected a better reason than that.
I
Uh,
mean, if you should not have been on a break, then I feel.
Yeah, they were on a break. He didn't even know what's gonna happen. He's been trying to work this relation since a while, and this beauty queen is taking her time to realize if she loves him or no.
Yeah, but then the next morning, when on the voice mail she just says, "Can I be your girlfriend again?" He goes mad over her once again, without realizing that what happened last night. So that was, I mean, we would
There
only
is
get
a
the answer
difference
next week.
between not falling in love, and there's a difference between just having sex.
Yeah,
And
but
that girl, I don't remember who he had sex with, was just sex. I don't think he even liked her or loved her.
yeah, but then he loved Rachel, right? So just for that, he could have waited a bit. I mean, once they broke up officially, after that, both of them had their own personal lives where they hooked up with so many people. That was completely okay. But okay, anyway, see, that's
I
the
feel,
thing.
I feel,
It's
I
fifty
feel just
fifty
one
here.
thing. I just
But
feel
we can
one
all
thing that
agree that it
Ross,
was a problematic relationship.
Yeah.
it was. There's no denying that, and
Very
I feel that
toxic and
Ross,
little bit unhealthy.
yeah, and I feel that Ross is a little bit of a broken soul. He's had before Rachel, he's had two serious relationships. One wife who's turned out to be, a lesbian,
Lesbian.
and
Homosexual.
yeah, and then another, almost till marriage he's reached, and then it just doesn't work out. So he's a broken soul after all. So I feel. I see where he's coming from. Yeah,
No,
Ross.
no, no.
I
See,
have
the
a
other,
soft
the,
spot
the,
for
Yeah,
him.
the,
even
the
I see
other
where
one.
he's coming
No. The Emily one you can't bring here because that happened afterwards. That didn't happen at that time. He was half
Yeah,
broken.
but still he had a breakup. I mean, it was his wife, and so you can even argue the other way. His wife was cheating on him. You
So,
could say it that way also.
so what?
I mean,
If
no. So I mean,
somebody
I
is
really
cheated on
relate
you,
to Ross. Poor guy.
I feel sorry for Ross. I mean, I don't know.
Even I feel sorry for
I
him.
see. I can understand why would one feel sorry for him, but that still doesn't justify what he did. I'm not saying I feel sorry for Rachel for that, but I mean what Ross did was a bit unfair to Rachel. Even though I feel Rachel is also another bitch, she at times she has acted like a bitch. Yeah, I mean the things she
I'm
does.
not denying.
Yeah, the thing she did, she actually was kind of like that. But anyway,
I think she was confused. She was very confused with what she wanted in life. Rachel.
Exactly. She was always confused of what she wanted since school.
yeah, but
You cannot expect Ross to wait forever.
yeah, but see, calling her a bitch, I didn't mean just in the Ross angle. But anyway, also, look, Brad Pitt, who came onto the show, I forgot his character name, but even they had a I Hate Rachel fan club. So even the show acknowledged the fact that she had streaks like that. But anyway, we'll find the answer next week in the reunion episode if they were on a break in a bit more detail. So we have talked a lot about the six characters, but there were so many special appearances and side characters also. So let's talk about the favorite characters out of the main six. There are so many options to choose from. There is everyone's favorite Gunther. There is of course Janice, the oh my god Janice, and then Richard was there.
My special appearance, I don't remember his name, but he's that guy who has a problem with the friends making noise on the above floor, and he asks them to shut up,
Oh, Mr.
and then he
Heckles.
gives.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but I think he's like super funny. And
Yeah.
then he names like his will on them, and then they realize that it's actually no money.
You
The
know,
liability that he spends.
a piece of trivia he was in Breaking Bad as well. He was the guy who owned that old garage where they would stuff all the cars and everything. So yeah, so that's an interesting pick. I mean, I remember when he captures Marcel as well, ordering all those bananas, and the other thing was his go-to thing was, "You owe me this," you know. You owe me a cello, or you owe me and all those things. So, Sneha, which one is your favorite?
Ursula.
Oh,
Equal, as good as Phoebe, I think.
yeah.
She's yeah, again, like some of the things were very similar to Phoebe. Like she's also weird and also outspoken. Did not care a lot about what other people thought or perceived. But again, I think she truly was the evil twin.
Yeah.
Like, how evil can one be? But she was
Yeah,
quirky,
and
funny.
that's another instance of what Farhad was saying, that Joey had to choose, so he had to choose between Ursula and Phoebe also, and he still went for Phoebe.
Oh.
But he chose Ursula first. I think Ursula broke his heart and then he went to Phoebe. Yeah, something of that sort I remember.
Okay.
So yeah, both Ursula and Phoebe were favorite.
And Farhad, for you?
For me, it'll be Mike. I like.
Okay.
It was like a very heartwarming character, very simple, very understanding, very caring. So I think all girls would really want a partner in like someone like Mike. You would like to
Yeah.
end up with someone like Mike. So I feel that, yeah, Mike for me.
So,
Mike.
we keep talking about Mike. So there is another argument which is it was a bit unfair to David. Would you guys agree with that?
Who, David?
David, the scientist guy.
Because
Russia wala.
at the end, in the last season, he comes back and Phoebe actually goes out with him, and she almost is double dating, like once she did, when that fireman and that teacher.
So then if
Yeah.
she does it, it's fine. But if Ross does it on a break, it's not fine.
Who said it's fine? It's not fine. I'm not. I'm saying it's not fine. But anyway, she said almost a yes to David first, and then Mike comes back, because if you remember, originally she went to Barbados with David. So it's only when Monica intervenes and she calls Mike over there, and then they patch up. So because she realizes that she actually loves Mike, David may be the old lover from her life who came back, but it was Mike all the way. So do you think it was a bit unfair the way it ended for David? Farhad?
No. He wasn't there for most of the
Not at
part.
all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, he also had a choice at the end of the day to
Yep.
not go to Russia.
Yeah.
But then he did eventually go to Russia over choosing Phoebe. So I mean, you paid for that. I mean, I don't feel sad or anything for David.
Okay. And also another piece of trivia. So this guy who played David, he auditioned for the role of Joey as well. And talking about auditions, so Jennifer Aniston had actually auditioned for Monica's role, and yeah,
No,
and
Monica was supposed to be Jennifer's role, no?
it was vice versa.
Yeah.
They
So
both
when
had
they
auditioned for the other
when
role.
they read out the script, so they both felt that I'm more suited for this one. Out of all six, I think only Ross's role was written keeping David Schwimmer in mind. And other than that, so actually, it was supposed to be a four-character thing, four main characters, and Chandler and Phoebe were supposed to be, the outsiders. Joey was always supposed to be the neighbor whom Monica would get romantically involved with. But later on, as they picked up. So that's the good thing about Friends, that all six characters are, having equal lines and equal sort of a character arc and backstories and everything. I mean, Phoebe has still the weirdest story. I mean, just look at his brother. How weird her brother is. It couldn't get any weirder. What was his name? Frank Jr.?
Frank Jr. Jr.
No, yeah, Frank Jr. And even Frank Jr.'s wife was also another weirdo. So the whole family,
Yeah.
it runs in the whole family.
Yeah, I just wanted to know from you guys, which is your favorite episode? I mean, if there is one episode that you need to choose from the 236 that are there, which is that one that you would select?
Yeah, you're laughing a lot, so
Um,
you might have an answer.
I have actually three, and all three are Phoebe episodes. The
Okay.
first one is the
Helicopter.
apartment quiz wala episode. If you remember, that's a Phoebe episode because that was the first time she got. I think she was getting the IVF treatment done in that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is one of
And
my
that is
favorites.
also the one they have recreated in the reunion also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the paper. Right, right. The second one would be again when Phoebe goes into labor and she has to give up the kids. And I think that was one of the most beautiful scenes that I ever seen on any sitcom. And the last one is Phoebe's wedding. It is exactly like how we would have picturized Phoebe getting married, an intimate and very cute kind of a wedding. So
Yeah,
was
and
Phoebe.
talking about like Sneha just said the way she became a mother. So what I liked about Friends is the way all three of them became, the motherhood that they have shown in three different ways. I mean,
Right.
with Monica, she couldn't become a mother, and in real life also, actually, by the way, she couldn't. So she had some
Yeah,
problems.
but,
So how they've shown their twins, from a surrogate mother, then Phoebe giving birth to the triplets of his brother, and with Rachel also being a single mother, that's another story in itself. So that's another good point that Friends raised. So yeah, Tanya, your favorite episode or favorite moment?
Favorite, I don't think I have a favorite episode. I can't think of one right now, but definitely I agree with Sneha. Most of my favorite moments are with Phoebe. I think she's super funny.
Okay.
So my answer is with Sneha.
Okay. I think I have a couple of favorite episodes. One was that one with the New Year resolutions, where Ross says I'll
yes,
do a new thing every day, and Chandler says I won't make a joke, and so it's Rachel says she won't gossip. So it's kind of like that's their superpower, and that's been taken away from them. So how they would react? I mean, Chandler's was the funniest. The way he stops himself from all those things, and then Ross being stuck in that bathroom of a girl's apartment on a date, and putting all those things to get rid of the leather pants. So yeah, I mean, that was one of my favorites, and the one with blackout. Uh, I'm in a 8th semester with Jill Goodacre. That was another. And if you saw an interview with the one of the older interviews where they are asked about their first experience on Friends, Chandler actually says it was the 6th or 7th episode, this blackout episode, where he actually felt that they are a part of something special. That's on record. He said that. So, and that is a really good episode. I mean, that's also the episode when this guy is introduced, that Rachel's boyfriend. What is his name? From Italy.
which one?
From Italy.
Oh,
uh,
uh,
Paolo.
Paolo.
Paolo,
Paulo,
sorry.
huh?
Yeah, so he's also introduced just when the blackout is gone and
Blackout.
the lights are on, and they are kissing, and that's the Ross expression at that point of time. So yeah, we should pick favorite seasons also. I mean, Farhad, which is your favorite season, if you have any?
Season. First I'll select the episode. I haven't
Oh yeah,
done
I
that. So
forgot.
I
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll select that one episode where the one when she turned 30.
Yeah.
Rachel had a 30th birthday. I could so relate to that. I mean, when I crossed 30, okay. So I could so relate to that. Ki, matlab, you're actually done with your 20s all of a sudden, like at 11:30, I'm saying, oh, in half an hour, I'm off my 20s. Something like that. That's like a shock. That's like one of the milestones in your life, you can say. And ironically, there's another episode which I really like. Um, is the one in which Chandler says it's the year 2020,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
Emma is
that
still taking a nap.
Emma
Emma,
still
yeah,
happened.
and Emma would have been 18 years, I think, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
from the time. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so it would be a memorable 18th year for not only Emma but for everyone that is concerned on human earth. 2020 was the year of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So that is one, and yeah, of course, the blackout one was also good, and I really like the Phoebe one also, in which she has to give away those twins. So that was really emotional. The
Yes.
Rachel one, yeah, triplet, sorry, and the Rachel one also was very good to watch. When she was in labor, and 21-hour labor period is like, my God. And
Okay.
finally, when she gets it,
So when you guys watched the final for the very first time, did you guys cry? Were you in tears as well, like me?
totally, totally, I was bummed.
How come Tanya and Sneha are so cold right now? Didn't you guys cry?
No, probably if I would have watched it when it actually released, I would have. But they had wrapped up most of the storylines, and I was kind of prepared for it. Of course, it made me emotional, but I don't think I cried. There were other episodes where I have cried, but I don't think I cried
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
finale.
other episodes even I cried when Chandler actually proposes to Monica. That I don't know why that made me emotional, but that moment when you know it's going to be over. What I do, it's a pro tip for every Friends fan. The moment you finish the last episode and you are in tears, quickly jump to the first season, first episode, and start another rerun.
Exactly.
So
Exactly
Tanya,
why I did
you,
cry.
But that,
you, oh, she
but that
also
purple
did.
dough still haunts me. That purple dough that is there, that
Yeah.
still haunts me.
You know what haunts me? That frame where they show all the keys, being kept, and then the last shot where everyone is going, and she says, "Do you have time for some coffee?" And he says, "Yeah, where?" So that's such.
Yeah,
It
it's a
was a
bittersweet feeling.
yeah, a bittersweet feeling. Plus the whole Rachel coming back from the plane, and Ross and her finally patching up. I felt it was a bit rushed, just like last week we were discussing how they rushed
Correct.
everything in Aspirant's final episode. So this also felt rushed and very convenient. But anyway, do you guys remember there was an Indian remake of Friends as well, which was so bad,
So bad.
so bad. And
No.
it came when the original Friends was still on. I mean, look at the
Yeah,
audacity.
98, yes.
Yeah, such audacity. I mean, there was Cyrus Brocha, there's Nikhil
No, but
Chinappa.
that's the thing. Like, it could have worked had they made it for the Indian audience. What they did was they literally
Copied,
translated
yeah,
the
yeah,
jokes.
yeah,
So, as an Indian, it did not work well with the audience. It could have worked. You could have easily, made characters that were relatable to the Indian audiences,
yeah. I think
and
I,
still there
I
they
is a
tend
huge
to differ.
market for it.
I
yeah
tend to differ, not with friends, because you are
Really,
already introduced to that world.
you are,
You
but
yeah.
already
again,
introduced
it's a
them,
very American sitcom, like very American
but then it
subculture.
had a fan base already, right? So I don't think you would have actually wanted to remake that, especially when the show was on. That
Yeah,
because
when
the
it's all
satellite was booming at that point. The TV,
right.
everyone was aware of Friends. It was not as if that you weren't getting exposure. You
Yeah.
didn't know that there was a show that Friends was there. So it would never have worked even if it was an Indianized version. It was like a brain fade that we had.
There have been so many such moments in Friends where I found things a bit odd as well. I mean, talking things about things like when Ross actually makes a move on his cousin, and he says that it's been like so many months that I haven't had sex, and he actually jumps upon her. So that was a weird thing, and like Sneha was talking there were a few problems as well with Friends. Like there was not a single black character on the show. I mean, in a metropolitan city like New York, where you have based the show, to not have a black character, like I'm talking about a prominent character, there might have been side characters coming in, but that was a issue. And then the other one was like how jokes were actually made on homophobia. It actually you would remember a lot of such moments where they would have jokes on gays, And ironically, at the same time, Friends was also the first ever show to actually openly promote lesbian marriage. Like, when Susan and what was the name of the other one?
Carol.
Carol,
Carol.
Susan and
Carol.
Carol, when they get married. So yeah, so there are pluses and minuses both with with Friends. So Sneha, did you have any other minus the negative thing in mind, or have I covered?
I did actually, and like probably one of the reasons why Friends is not my go-to show anymore, because yeah, you realize certain things, like the reason why Joey is not really a favorite, because there are aspects of his personality that I find a little problematic. He's a little sexist, I feel. And yeah, of course, there's like a childlike innocence also to his character. So you can always, associate his sexism or misogyny with him being a little immature, that he does not know any better. But on the other hand, Friends was like, it brought a whole new subculture to India. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of us, when we started watching Friends, we associated an aspirational quality to that show. We
Yeah.
wanted to be like those characters. Like I wanted to be like Phoebe, selfless and wonderfully weird and all those things. So there's a thing, like you said, homophobia, one of the
Yeah.
things. Then again, the whole Rachel and Ross dynamic. I felt that it was a little bit problematic.
But yeah, so this was our part one of Friends podcast, Friends dedicated podcast. Because next week we'll be doing a part two. By then, hopefully, the reunion we would have seen the reunion, and we'll discuss that as well. So yeah, I mean, guys, please try to watch it next time before we meet, so that we can discuss the reunion. I'm really excited. If you have seen the trailer, have you seen the trailer, Tanya, Sneha, Farhad?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't. I haven't
Okay,
got the
Farhad
chance.
hasn't, but did you notice something different? I mean, first of all, the way they all are looking, it's so old. It felt like I'm watching This Is Us, and all that is a prosthetic makeup. I mean, my heart wasn't ready to accept the fact that they are also old, especially Joey. I mean, he looked older than he actually
Even
is.
Phoebe, oh my god,
Yeah,
so old.
botched
Everyone is like
Botox.
10 pounds extra.
Yeah, and
Everyone had a Bosch Botox, man.
yeah, and
Oh,
Chandler, the way he was talking, the speech was a bit like slowed down. So it really made me feel older as well. I mean, Farhad has already mentioned how he felt turning 30, and watching all those Friends characters, getting so old made me feel old as well. So yeah, looking forward to how it goes, and then discussing that with you all. So thank you, Tanya, thank you, Sneha and Farhad, for joining for this Friends special podcast on Cine-Mahaul this Friday. Hopefully you guys would have joined. Whomsoever saw the episode till the end, thank you for watching. Please go check out Tanya's channel as well. Please go check out Popcorn Reviews by Farhad, and please
Double
go. Huh?
Double S.
Double S, yes. Popcorn Reviews. And Sneha, please, do you have anything, or do you
No,
want
I
people
don't
to
have any
check out?
plugins. I don't have any plugins.
You can go follow Sneha on her Instagram profile. Maybe she does a bit of photography. So yeah, I mean, that's all for tonight. Thank you for joining in, and we'll see you next week with Friends Part 2. Good night.
No, thank you.